Before we get on to the video, do me a favor and hit the like button, it greatly helps out the channel. Also, while you're down there, subscribe for more. Now back to the video. As the three made their way into the White House Guild building, Lily ran ahead after seeing the decorations that had been set up for a party. Music was being played, and as she ran to take a seat, Lily expressed that she would start singing along to the music that was being played. Lim heard this and he became nervous. He thought to himself, questioning when Lily learned to sing. Surideok and Wang noticed Lily, Lim, and Beak approaching. They stood up from their chairs and they welcomed their team leader with a pleasant smile on their faces. Lim thanked them for the warm welcome, and he praised them for working hard during the disaster and with the rebuilding efforts. After seeing Lily approached, Youngshin showed her a table he had set up, and while blushing, he expressed that he prepared her favorite food in advance so she should sit at this table. Lily was impressed, and she told Youngshin that he was the best. After Lily took a seat at the table, Youngshin turned around to join Lily in the seat next to her. However, to his shock, Lim quickly took that seat. And as Lily ate, Lim turned to Youngshin with a smile, and he asked him why he only had 2 seats set up at this table. Youngshin couldn't give Lim an answer, so he quietly moved a chair next to Lily and opposite of Lim. Lily continued to stuff her face. Lim took a napkin, and he wiped the crumbs off of her face while telling her to eat slowly. Lily expressed that she would, and she went back to eating her pizza. Lim observed her closely, and a thought came to mind. He realized that Lily never talked about her family, so he called her to get her attention. Lily turned her head towards Lim with a puzzled expression, and Lim went on to ask her if she doesn't miss her family. Lim expressed that he was asking because Lily never says things like, "I miss my parents" or "I wonder how my parents are doing." Lily went silent, her demeanor saddened, and she placed her pizza on her plate. Seeing Lily like this annoyed Youngshin, and he asked Lim if he was trying to scold Lily. With an annoyed expression, Lim told Youngshin that he wasn't trying to scold Lily, and he expressed that he was trying to talk about something important with her. Then he turned to Lily, and he told her that if she doesn't want to say anything, then she doesn't have to, but he wanted her to answer one question for him. He asked her if she wanted to meet her parents. As Lim said this, Youngshin observed Lily with a concerned expression on his face. Lily spoke, expressing that she indeed wants to see her parents again, and as she was about to explain the reason why it might not be possible, Lim patted her on the head, saying they will have to go to the continent of Gaia. Lim stopped patting Lily on the head, and as he pulled his hand away, he expressed with a pleasant smile that it's been a while since he went sightseeing, and he asked Lily if she wanted to bring anything with her, since they will be going to find her parents. The scene then shifts to Lily running away from something in a dark forest. As she ran, she noticed Lim standing in front of her in his combat uniform. Lily called out to Lim as she drew closer, but Lim remained silent. She ran up to him and grabbed him by the arm, and she started asking for help. Suddenly Lim's appearance changed. With a goblin mask now covering his face, he turned to Lily and he asked if she was asking him for help. Lily jumped out of her bed, screaming with a horrified look on her face. She got out of her bed, and she made her way to Lim's room. And the rustling sound of Lily crawling into his bed woke Lim up. And as Lim was getting his bearings, Lily spoke in a horrified tone, expressing to Lim that she actually doesn't want to go back. She added that even though she doesn't want to go back, she has to because she misses her mom, and she promised someone named Wendy that she would return. She questioned if everyone would be okay after she had been gone for so long. Lim stared up at his ceiling, and he patted Lily on the back to comfort her as she repeatedly stated that she had to go back, even though she didn't want to. Lily then started telling Lim about her past. She told Lim that she comes from a poor family and that her and her mom were always hungry. As they slept, Lily's mom would hold Lily tightly in her arms, and she would always apologize for their current situation. However, Lily didn't mind because her mom was always by her side. One day Lily's mom called her and she asked Lily to listen carefully. After getting Lily's attention, she explained to Lily that she would become a maid for a rich family, and if she just listens to what her masters say, then she wouldn't have to starve. Lily's mom hugged her, and she promised to come find Lily later when she was in a better situation. Sometime later a carriage arrived, and Lily was taken away in the carriage. On the way to this supposed rich family, the carriage traveled through a forest, and as they went about, Lily looked around in the carriage, noticing the other children. The child next to Lily turned to Lily and she asked for her name. Lily was taken aback, and when she faced this child, she introduced herself as Wendy. And since it felt cold outside today, Wendy asked Lily if she could stay close to warm up. Without Lily agreeing, Wendy suddenly leaned on her shoulder. Wendy thanked Lily, and she told Lily that she was very warm. She proceeded to ask Lily for her age, and she came to find out that she was a year older than Lily. A short while later the carriage came to a stop, and the children were shouted at to get out by strange men. The kids got out of the carriage, and they were guided in a straight line by these men. As they walked, the kids took a look around, and they started questioning where they were, as this place was not the compound of a rich family, which they were told would be their destination. Suddenly one of the strange men struck the floor with a whip, terrifying the kids. Afterwards, with the whip in hand, the man wearing a goblin mask advised the children in a chilling tone to shut up and follow him. Lily and Wendy were locked up together in a big prison, and the other children who came with them started disappearing from their cells one by one. Lily doesn't remember much of the details of what happened after that, but on the day she was taken away, she remembered waking up in a strange room to the voices of two strange men. One of these men asked the other if this wasn't their third attempt already, and another exclaimed that the first one was correct. This man expressed that for this attempt they used the essence of fire and blood fragments of a demon, and all the items were successfully integrated with Lily's body. They stood over Lily, and the first one asked if there was any rejection from Lily's body, and the other replied saying there wasn't. However, the possibility was still very high, so he wanted to start something right away, but as he said this they noticed a reaction. They shouted at their success, and they noted that the baptism had settled into Lily's body. Lily was in pain, however the two men were busy celebrating because finally they had fulfilled their long-cherished wish. After the celebrations died down, the first man asked if the other had noticed any side effects, and the other expressed that he hadn't yet. But he thought it wouldn't matter even if there were side effects, as Lily was no longer a person, but a monster. From that day on, a magic circle appeared on Lily's stomach, and she got hungry more often. During these times Wendy would always give Lily her share of food. Lily would obviously refuse, however Wendy would threaten to throw the food away if Lily didn't take it, so Lily always ended up eating it. But as she ate it, she would always apologize to Wendy for being so hungry, and Wendy would always comfort her by saying it's alright. One day Wendy suggested to Lily that they should escape. On that day Wendy went to Lily to show her something cool. After getting Lily's attention, Wendy formed an ice crystal in her hand. This confused Lily, and she asked Wendy how she was able to do that. Wendy expressed that she doesn't know, and as she said that her hair color started to change from blonde to blue, Lily noticed the change happening to Wendy's hair, however she remained quiet. It was after this that Wendy told Lily that they should run away from this place, and Lily agreed with an enthusiastic smile. However, they were discovered in their attempts to escape. Lily was restrained by some hooded people, and the man wearing the goblin mask grabbed Wendy by the neck and he lifted her in the air. He expressed that the thought of Wendy being awakened already never crossed his mind. He told her that if she would have come clean earlier then he wouldn't have had to make her suffer more. Lily started shouting for the masked man to let go of Wendy, and Wendy suddenly started firing ice spears at the masked man, and as she did this she shouted for him to die. The masked man's body was quickly covered by a green shield-like ability, and Wendy's ice spears bounced off of his body. The masked man looked up at Wendy, and with a smile, he told her that even though she has awakened, she still wouldn't be able to do anything against him. In a menacing tone, he exclaimed that Wendy will accomplish great things as a puppet in the future. Wendy gritted her teeth, and she grabbed hold of the masked man's arm tightly. She thought to herself that even if she had to die, she would not go back to that prison. Wendy started releasing a cold chilling wind from her body, and she called out to Lily, telling her that she had to run away. The masked man was irritated that Wendy was using her ability to try and help Lily escape, and as he disciplined Wendy, Wendy continued to direct cold chilling winds at the two men that were restraining Lily. As this went on, the two men restraining Lily froze, and Lily herself awakened. Her hair color changed from blonde to red, and she started emitting flames from her body. The masked man took notice of Lily's awakening, and he ordered his men to catch her. Wendy, who had freed herself, shouted for Lily to get up, and she expressed that Lily won't get a better chance than this, so she should run now, while her powers are keeping the masked man occupied. Lily ran away, and Wendy increased the range of her powers, and she created an ice storm tornado to mask Lily's presence. Wendy's distraction helped Lily get some distance between her and the strange men. However, a short while later, they were able to pick up her trail, and as Lily ran, she asked Wendy to wait for her, and she made a promise to return. She continued to run, and sometime later a red gate suddenly opened in front of her. With the men that were chasing her close behind, and nowhere else left to go, Lily ran through the portal. The men chasing her shouted for Lily to get away from the gate, but as they drew near, the gate started to disappear. Lily took one more look, and she promised again to come back and save Wendy. In the present, after Lily finished telling Lim about her past, and how she ended up on Earth, she passed out. Lim observed her quietly as she slept, and he muttered to himself, "Goblin masked man," in a tone of anger. The next day Lim went to Changsu and he requested a month-long vacation. Changsu was infuriated. He struck his desk with his fist, and he asked Lim if he was out of his mind. In a fit of rage, Changsu stood up from his chair and he struck his desk with both hands. Then he reminded Lim that they just faced a disaster not long ago, and he questioned how Lim could be thinking of taking a whole month off at a time like this. Changsu also asked Lim if he doesn't know how busy the White House Guild has been recently. Lim remained silent for a moment. Beak, who had joined Lim, stood behind him holding her hands together nervously. Then with a serious expression on his face, Lim told Changsu that he has a reason why he has to go, and he expressed that he also had something he wanted to personally ask Changsu. Changsu interrupted him, saying he doesn't know what Lim wants to ask. But he wouldn't listen, and if Lim wanted to go on a vacation, the maximum amount of time he would allow is 1 week, and Lim could have that time off next month. Lim glared at the ground, and he thought about doing something he didn't want to do. Lim called Beak, and he asked her about the profits of the White House Guild this month. Beak was surprised by Lim's question, and she struggled to give an answer. Lim expressed that he heard that the demand for potions is so high that the White House Guild can't keep up with productions. He turned to Changsu and he asked if there was a need to supply the potions exclusively through the White House Guild. Changsu was taken aback, and he sat back in his chair, questioning what Lim was trying to get at. Lim added, in a cold, chilling tone, that he also heard that the value of the loot taken from the Red Core Gate is enormous. He also reminded Changsu that he mentioned that even if you combined all the achievements of the other teams, they would not be as good as Team 7's. This made Lim start to wonder if he should still stay in the White House Guild when he is being treated like this. Those words fell hard on Changsu's shoulders. He started stressing, and with his head lowered he asked Lim if he was threatening him. Lim sighed, and he asked Changsu how much he would have to pay to break his contract. This finally made Changsu snap, and he angrily agreed to give Lim his vacation. However, he also added angrily, with a sly remark, that it would be nice if they could also go on vacation. Lim smiled, and he thanked Changsu for being understanding. He expressed blissfully that he would buy Changsu a gift when he comes back. Changsu sighed, and he asked what Lim plans to do for an entire month. Lim explained that he plans on looking for some people. Beak interjected, saying if Lim is looking for people, then it will be faster if he left it to the White House Guild. She asked if Lim would be willing to leave it up to the guild. Lim faced her, and he said no. He told her that he wanted to find these people himself. Lim thought to himself that he has to find Wendy or Lily's mom and bring them back. And as for Goblin Mask Dude, he gritted his teeth, and the vein on his forehead started bulging as he thought about what he plans to do to Goblin Mask Dude. After calming himself, Lim turned to Changsu and he reminded him that he also wanted to ask for a favor earlier. Changsu brought his hands together and he asked Lim to tell him what else he wanted. The two discussed, and a short while later Changsu glared at Lim, and he questioned if this is what Lim was really asking for. That evening in the White House Guild building rental accommodations, Lim called Lily and he asked her to take a look at a map he had drawn of the Gaia continent. Lim showed Lily the map, and afterwards he drew a circle in an area of the map, and he expressed that that area Lily mentioned should be roughly around where he drew the circle. Lily was taken aback, but if what Lim was saying is true, then her house should be there. Suddenly there was a knock at their door. This confused Lim as he shouldn't have any visitors. He turned to the door and he asked Lily if the visitor was for her. Lily was also confused. She turned to the door as well, and she called out to the person on the other side with a questioning hello. Lim opened the door and he was met with Youngshin and his mom. Youngshin's mom asked Lim if it would be okay if they came in for a moment. Lim allowed them to enter, and they exchanged a greeting. Afterwards, Youngshin's mom started to explain their reason for the visit, but she stopped herself because Youngshin had told her he wanted to speak for himself. Youngshin nodded in agreement with his mom, and she gave Youngshin the floor. After being given the chance to speak, Youngshin told Lim that he also wanted to go on a vacation with Lily. Lim was shocked. He quickly realized that he might have revealed too much, which is why Youngshin was able to get wind of the vacation. He didn't want Youngshin to join them, but the more he thought about it, the harder it became to deny the fact that having a creator with them who could make anything would make things so much easier for him. Lim was giving into the idea of taking it easy, but he questioned if it would really be okay to bring Youngshin with him. He explained to Youngshin and his mom that they will be crossing a dangerous area, something might happen, and there are countless other things he would have to be watching out for. Youngshin started sweating nervously as he thought of ways where him joining Lim and Lily would be possible. He expressed that he could take the robot, but he couldn't come up with anything to keep his mom safe during their travels. Youngshin's mom chuckled nervously, and she told Youngshin that she wouldn't stop him from going just because she couldn't join him. However, she asked Lim to bring her son back to her safely. Lim promised to bring Youngshin back safely, and as he made this promise, Youngshin approached Lily, and he called her name. Then he expressed with a blissful expression on his face that even though he might be weaker than Lily, he would still try his best to help. With a blissful smile, Lily thanked Youngshin. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then hit the like button.